Today's talk is titled Becoming Deciduous, to be delivered by Susan Landau. Susan moved to California in 2012 and became a member of this church, or sanctuary, whatever, community, UUCC. She was an active member of the congregation, serving on the board as secretary and later as treasurer. She was also the UUCC administrator, served on the worship committee and the operations committee. Susan moved to Port Townsend, Washington in October 2021, where she became a member of Quimper UU Fellowship. She serves at QUUF as a member of the Program Council, is the chair of the Spirit Council, and was on the committee to plan the 2024 Women's Retreat, and serves as a worship associate. Next month, Susan will be offering a 3-week crone offering group to discuss and honor the maiden, mother, and crone phases of women's lives. Susan.
Good morning. Welcome to the fall equinox. And this year, the fall equinox is today. It happened this morning in the wee hours. Fall equinox is the time that marks the transition from summer to autumn, as Nancy just said, and it is the moment when day and night are the same length. After today, the nights will start to become longer and the days are going to start getting shorter. In modern pagan religions, can you all hear me okay? Okay. In modern pagan religions, the fall equinox is also known as Mabon. While the fall equinox was celebrated for centuries by ancient cultures, it wasn't until the 1970s when the name Mabon was also assigned to the fall equinox. This was part of a systematic reviving of the modern pagan wheel of the year. The name comes from Welsh mythology and means son of the mother. This renaming of the fall equinox connects Mabon to a mythological tale about a divine young man whose story is about liberation and triumph over darkness. It is a reflection of the equinox's balance of light and dark. For pagans, Mabon is a time to pay respects to the older deities and the spirit of vegetation that fades and will be reborn in the spring. One of the things I love living in Washington State, and in particular Port Townsend, which is such a cool little town, is having 4 seasons, real live seasons. I was born and raised in Southern California, and we sort of had seasons. For me, fall reminds me of my father, who grew up in Ohio and had an affinity for the changing colors of fall. When they lived in Redding, California, he planted a few liquid amber trees in front of their mobile home. And every year, he would ooh and ah and take me outside to look at these beautiful trees. He would rave about their leaves, and as the leaves turned, a glorious gold and yellow color. They were absolutely stunning. When I moved from Cambria up to Port Townsend in October of 2021, it was a 2-day drive, 19 hours, just to get there, with a U-Haul behind me. And I got as far as Discovery Bay, which is just outside of Port Townsend. The morning of the 3rd day, I drove from Discovery Bay to Port Townsend, which is about a 20-minute drive. I took Highway 101, which is a 2-lane road at that point, and turned onto State Route 20, which is another 2-lane road. And I found myself in a spectacular tunnel of color that just took my breath away. Trees with orange, red, yellow, and gold leaves on both sides of the road and arching slightly towards each other overhead. I sighed a deep sigh that said, I've arrived, I'm home. And I felt the presence of my dad right there in the front seat with me. I could feel how much, and I knew how much he would have loved my living in this place, because it would give him the excuse he needed to come visit and have the same experience of autumn that he loved so much and that I got to have now. All that being said, of the immense joy of experiencing the fall colors for me, there is also a deeper spiritual meaning to fall. Transition and change, harvest and abundance, release and letting go, and reflection and gratitude are the profound symbols of fall. We can follow these symbols of nature in the fall, and we can apply them to our own lives. The symbology of transition and change is exactly what you see as nature is preparing for winter. The color of the leaves turn as they prepare to drop from the trees. So what are the things that you could drop from your lives? What no longer serves you? And are you willing to let go? This is a time to pause and reflect, just like nature, on the journey of this past year and spend some time noticing where you've traveled. What have you gained? What have you lost? What have you learned? What would you like to forget? And what are you ready, really, really ready to release? What needs to stay with you a while longer? What new path lies ahead of you that you need to prepare for? Where are you going? Fall is the season of abundance in nature. It is when the harvest is gathered and stored away for the winter. For us humans, that means that the fruits of our labor have finally come to fruition. We have worked hard throughout the year, and now it is time to stop and notice all the blessings in our lives. It's time to feel grateful for our abundance and all that we have, all that we've created. Good health, a roof over our heads, plentiful friends and family who love us, and so much more. Fall is the time to appreciate all that we have achieved and all that life offers us. Think of the beautiful leaves on the trees, releasing their long-held clutch and falling gently to the ground, creating a carpet of splendor on the street. This is an important lesson for humankind to observe. What no longer serves you? Can you release not just the things in your life, but can you release the attachment to those things? What needs to be released in order to support your spiritual growth? If you can release attachment, you will create a new space for new things, and this will invite positive energy into your life. As we all know, nature abhors a vacuum, so the positivity will rush right in to fill that newly created space. Living in Cambria, as you all do, it is so easy to connect with nature and observe the nuances. Observe how she begins to slow down and follow her lead. Fall is the time to reflect on this past year, to pause, to slow down, and to appreciate the beauty that surrounds you, as well as the beauty and richness of your life. The days will be getting shorter as the nights grow longer. So as you start to slow down, feel gratitude for the many blessings that you have already received. In the Lakota medicine wheel, fall is represented by the west. It is the time of the bear, Mudjekeewis, and the bear will soon be preparing for a long winter sleep. Following nature's rhythm, as I try to, this is the time for deep introspection and dreaming. And speaking of introspection and dreaming, we're about to take a short journey together. So get comfortable in your chair. Put both feet on the floor if you can. If not, imagine both feet on the floor. Close your eyes if you are willing, and take 3 deep breaths. Imagine a white light above your head, and it flows down in through the crown of your head into your heart. Let this white light fill you with peace and calm. Feel it throughout your body. Take that white light and slowly send it all the way down through your body, into your legs, and out through the bottoms of your feet. This light goes down into the ground, into the earth, and all the way down to the center. Imagine that there is a hook or a bar or something that you can attach that light to, and attach it firmly. So this light now comes down through the top of your head, through your heart, all the way through you, out the bottoms of your feet, and down into the center of the earth. Take a deep breath, and as you release it, if you are comfortable, make a loud sigh as you feel yourself connected. Feel your shoulders relax. You didn't know they were attached to your ears, did you? Bring them down. And as you look around, you find yourself standing on a path. You're in a forest, and you're surrounded by beautifully colored trees, beautiful leaves of red, gold, orange, and yellow. They're in the trees, they're on the ground, they're everywhere. The sun is shining, the weather is absolutely perfect. Look around you and drink in the colorful beauty. Not too far away, you can hear a stream making its way through the forest. The path that you're standing on leads you right to a clearing where you can find the stream, so you continue walking that way. When you arrive at the stream, you can lay on the blanket that you brought with you, or you can sit on the comfortable bench that is already there, or if you prefer and need a chair, one magically appears. Take a seat or lie down. Listen to the wind, a breeze rustling through the leaves, and feel the sun. Not too hot, just enough to warm your body. This is your time to remember. Think back to last year at this time. It was the end of September 2023. The scarecrows were starting to come out. School had just started, and the school buses had reappeared on the streets after being parked all summer long. Halloween was fast approaching. There was a chill in the night air, although the days were still beautiful. Where were you? What events were you planning for Halloween? Did you have candy at your house? And what were you thinking about, or were you thinking about the year to come? So take a few minutes and pull up this past year. From the beginning of last fall up through each month. So now it's November of 23. What's happening with your family? Are you planning Thanksgiving? Or Indigenous Peoples' Day? And then what was happening in December? Who were you buying gifts for? If you were buying gifts for anyone? Were you traveling to visit family? And then January. And February was Valentine's Day. New grandchildren, birthdays. And in March, were you starting to plan your garden? In April? May? June, summertime, picnics, July at the park. August and back to September. What did you invite in this past year? How did you change your life? Who did you invite in last year? What did you let go of? What are you thankful for this past year? Think of all the experiences that you had. What are you grateful for? As you remember this past year, think about what no longer serves you. What are you carrying around with you that just weighs you down? Are there habits you need to let go of? And as we age, it's so much easier to release those things that don't serve us, those things that hold you back from being who you really are, who you fully are, being in your heart, So think about what you're ready to release so that you can be you. And when you have that in your mind's eye, can you commit to releasing that thing or those things? Now think about the year ahead. What do you intend to create or call into your life next year? We each create our own experiences. So what would you like to manifest for yourself? A year from now, in 2025, as the scarecrows are going up in Cambria, what will your life look like? And how will you feel about your life? Commit these things to memory. Remember them. These 3 questions. What are you thankful for? What are you ready to release? And what do you intend to create? Hold these thoughts in your mind. And then take them and place them in your hand and hold them firmly. And then take them and place them in your heart, where you can call them up at any time. Your gratitude, what you're ready to release, and what you intend to create. Now that you have them, it's time to leave the stream. So you can stand up and brush yourself off and locate the path. So step onto the path. In kind of a lazy way, walk down the path through the forest and back to the entrance where you stepped in. You can feel that triad glowing in your heart. Relax your shoulders again. I'm going to leave you grounded if you would like to be. If not, you can let go of whatever you've attached your white light to, although it's nice to walk around grounded. Take another deep breath. And when you feel ready, open your eyes and come back to the church and find yourself sitting in your seat. Are we all back? If you can weave the symbols of fall into your life at this time of year, you can enrich your spiritual journey and deepen your connection with Gaia, also known as the Mother. This is the time of year to embark on a sacred journey of self-discovery and spiritual renewal. This is how we celebrate the fall equinox.